nothing. My parents were liberal, and look at me. Like, so what does that even mean? Oh, he's a groiper. He shot a white Christian man. If you don't know the stances of groipers, don't talk about them, because groipers are all for all white Christian males.
Utah by his own father. Tyler's dad recognized his son as the person of interest, and when asked, he fessed up to it.
Damn.
Sources say Tyler actually threatened suicide, saying he'd rather kill himself, which led the dad to call up his minister, who happened to be a U.S. Marshal. Robinson later surrendered and was booked into jail. The jail, 250 miles from the crime scene.
Damn.
That's right. The guy made it all the way home.
250 miles? Nah. All right, yeah. Okay, that's crazy. Like, he drove for basically, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 hours to get there, and then drove 4 or 5 hours back and made it back.
So how'd he do it? New video shows Robinson leaving his sniper's nest and jumping off the roof. After that, he dumped his gun in the woods and hopped in a gray Dodge Challenger and drove 4 hours.
And he's already at the parking lot, so he's damn near like ahead of everybody during the commotion. He's able to get in his car for everything to get too crowded, and everybody's so caught up with what's going on campus. Police and law enforcement are all trying to rush towards that scene, so he slips out without anybody really even noticing he left.
Home. The governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, says the family did the right thing by turning their son in. Robinson's believed to have acted alone, but he left a hefty trail of evidence. Investigators found messages that he sent to his roommate.
These photos consisted of various messages stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel.
We now know more about the engravings on the shell casings. Listen.
Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings.
Guys, make sure you guys like the video by double tapping that screen, man. We got 1,500 of y'all in here. Let's get more people in by double tapping that screen. If you got any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, go ahead and super chat it in, $2 and up.
Read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Bella Ciao is an anti-Nazi song from Italy. 3 down arrows is an...
And people are trying to say, oh, he shot Charlie Kirk because he wasn't conservative enough. No, you're wrong. I don't know where you got that information from, but even liberal media said that, oh, he was shot. He said he shot Charlie Kirk because he said he was a fascist. He even wrote on the bullet, "Hey, fascist, catch." So if they shot him because he wasn't conservative enough, then what was this "hey, fascist" part about? Like I said, y'all trying to push it off on the right because I'm pretty sure a lot of people on the left, at least the high up lefties, know it's somebody from the left. They're trying to pass it off on the right. They're trying to get their constituents or their voters to pass it off on the right, so you guys can just skirt accountability from this and skirt accountability from the language that you've been perpetuating for the past 4 years.
Anti-fascist symbol that's now associated with Antifa. And it's also a video game code for calling in a big bomb. Hey, fascist, catch. Well, he's calling Charlie a fascist and telling him to catch a bullet. And the bulges, OWO, is sexual role-playing slang used by furry fanatics. So who is this guy, this Robinson guy? He comes from...
And what's just now coming out is that his partner, he had a partner, a roommate that was a transgender woman. So basically, bro was gay. He was messing with a chick. He was messing with, well, a guy with a wig on, basically. Chicks with dicks was his thing.
A normal household, raised Mormon, parents are Republican. His father's in construction, and they live in a 6-bedroom home in Utah.
Damn.
He grew up hunting, which explains why he was a good shot. And academically, he was a straight-A student who got a college scholarship. But he dropped out of college after 1 semester.
I mean, shoot, he got that conservative upbringing. He just effed it all up, being radicalized.
Went back to live at home and enrolled in a trade school, looking to become an electrician. A family member said he wasn't political. until recently when something snapped.
The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
One of Robinson's friends spoke to The Guardian and said he was really leftist, pretty left on everything, quote unquote. They said he became an extremist, started ranting and raving.
Yep.
Robinson apparently spent too much time online.
And remember, this just wasn't your, honestly, this wasn't your guy in your mama's basement. Bro had a pretty promising career. Like I said, straight A student. He was ready to go to college. He dropped out to go to trade school to be an electrician. Like, bro's future was honestly kind of bright, which is like kind of, I really wonder what radicalized him that turned him down this route. Because honestly, he should be a conservative, but obviously he's a leftist. I mean, trans roommate thinks Charlie Kirk's a fascist. Like, I wonder what really happened to this man.
His shell casings had internet slang, and he dressed up as memes for Halloween. Robinson spent hours and hours alone staring at a screen. A Christian kid in a conservative household raised by a loving mom and dad in Utah, not surrounded by radical leftists, but gets radicalized into fighting fascists online.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
Fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
I mean, that is true. It doesn't matter if you do grow up in a conservative area. If you do grow up in a conservative area, if you grow up around this, if you hear this all day, it don't matter where you grow up. If you're hearing this type of rhetoric all day, online, on TV, you're going to be radicalized in the opposite direction there. I'm going to be honest with you.
Is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
Fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
This is what kicking the out of fascism looks like.
Donald Trump is a fascist.
I mean, it's kind of crazy because this kid's story is like damn near the opposite of mine. Like, I was raised in a mainly conservative household, a conservative area. Not conservative, sorry, God, not conservative, but I was raised in a liberal area, liberal parents. My parents never voted for no Republican, all Democrats. And I mainly lived in inner cities all my life. So I've been in liberal areas all my life, but due to what I was seeing online, due to what I've been reading about statistically and in studies, that kind of brought me over to the conservative side a little bit. Once the left stopped caring about, the black community and our problems, started caring more about race baiting and I don't know, Trump's a fascist. Like, they start caring more about hate than fixing the community. They care more about hating people, hating an ideology, hating Trump, than actually helping out the voters, which I just couldn't stand with.
Trump is a fascist dictator.
As a fascist dictator.
Fascist chaos.
Fascist regime.
Look, the problem is, though, I mean, Jesus, I ain't turning into no damn shooter. I'm not trying to shoot people out there on the left. That's absolutely insane.
Are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put...
And shout out to my man Chase for starting us off. And shout out Chase said this happened because of them calling us fascists / Nazis, yet they want to blame gun laws in Trump. It's sad and disgusting. These people are heartless, and that is the problem. It's like, you're not trying to blame the rhetoric that you guys been using. You've been calling this guy a fascist, Hitler, hate. Oh, he's a hateful person. He spreads hate when he didn't. Charlie Kirk did not spread no type of hate. He was just debating his ideas. Now, one time has Charlie Kirk ever came out there and just said, oh, everybody should do what I say. Everything needs to be done the way I do it or according to the Bible. He never said that. And if that's what you believe he said, then you've been lied to about this man. And I'd advise you to listen to this man in long form. He has a channel. Take out an hour, 30 minutes to actually listen to what he was talking about instead of these 30-second clips that you guys want to go off of and think that you know everything he stood on.
People's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes.
So how did America confront fascism in World War II? We went to war. And today, Democrat senators have declared war again.
We're in a war right now to save this country. And so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
Whatever's necessary to save the country?
And those who want to say that, oh, well, what about you, Trump? Don't y'all spread hate? Who do we shoot? Who do we shoot on y'all side? Give me the political, trust me, give me a nationally known leftist pundit that's been shot at. Because we got Charlie Kirk. I mean, we got a politician, we got Trump, and we're talking about people that can be known throughout the United States. Give us your famous liberal, your famous leftist that's being attacked, that's been shot at. You can't, because you guys are the side of violence.
That's a call to arms. The left is losing the battle of ideas. Violence is a last resort. They're trying to silence us so they can't lose the argument. They tried to cancel us, censure us, and at the extreme level, they've tried to kill us. They killed Charlie, shot Trump, shot Scalise. They almost shot Kavanaugh, assassinated a healthcare CEO, cracked Rand Paul's ribs, and firebombed Teslas, and are attacking ICE facilities. And now they're trying to wash the blood off their hands.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Me disagreeing.
It's like they don't know how to just disagree. They got to sit out there and damn near be insurrectionists, damn near try to go against the law because, well, they feel like everything's being ran unconstitutional. The problem is they're the unconstitutional ones. They're the ones not listening to ideas, and they're the ones who's trying to force their ideology on people through violence or through, well, harsh rhetoric.
With you, me calling you, I want to be Hitler. All those things are like not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody.
They called Trump Hitler, and then Ryan Ruth says Trump's Hitler and tries to shoot him. They don't see a connection?
Nope.
They call Charlie fascist, and then someone shoots Charlie with an anti-fascist.
I mean, yeah, one of the reasons why Ryan Ruth shot this guy is because, he's too soft in Ukraine. He's about to kowtow to Russia. My bad. He's too soft on Russia, and he's about to give up on Ukraine. Who was spreading that message? Because it wasn't the right. It was the left. They was calling Trump's, that's Putin's bitch. Trump doesn't really care about Ukraine. He's about to leave our ally in the dust. And due to that rhetoric, Ryan Ralph, who's an extreme supporter of Ukraine, tried to assassinate Trump, try to make an attempt on that man's life because of whose rhetoric? Left-leaning media's rhetoric. So please take accountability.
Fascist bullet. They know exactly what they're doing. They're giving the crazy wing of their party permission to take a shot. They're brainwashing an online army. The message is, these men are dangerous fascists. Be a hero. Take them out. They can't win at the ballot box, so they're using bullets. Charlie said it just a few months ago. Assassination culture is spreading on the left. 55% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to kill Trump. Colbert's audience was just cheering about Trump dying.
Yep.
Tim Wald said he was secretly hoping that he woke up to the news of the president's passing. They're on a war footing. Charlie was killed in cold blood, and a sick faction of the left are reveling in it.
Actually, a lot of people in the left has lost their jobs, and I'm happy. I'm actually happy these people lost their damn jobs because, like, who the hell are you guys to celebrate that guy's death? Like, why would you even think that was something cool to do when if MAGA was to do the same thing, you would call us heartless bastards? Rightfully so. And rightfully so. If we was out here celebrating some left-leaning pundit's death, yeah, you have the right to call us monsters. You have the right to call us sick. You have the right to call us evil. Just like we have the right to call you for doing the same thing. Like, what the hell wrong with you guys? But let me tell you about a dumbass who literally ruined her future. This dumbass right here. Actually, I'm honestly an attractive young lady, but a dumbass, by the way, a dumbass. And sadly, usually the attractive young ladies do be the biggest dumbasses. You didn't hear that from me. But this lady right here, you really cutting people off for posting RIP Charlie Kirk? Yes. And she's dancing about it. She's like, yeah, I'm cutting people off, whoever says RIP Charlie Kirk. So just because some people are mourning a father's death, you're upset about that. And I mean, shout out to the internet. She's a doctor in training at Samuel Moret U. She's currently a social media manager at Hilton Hotels. And if you look at these two places, they've literally spammed all of their comments of this woman's image right here. Fuck around and find out, sis. Fuck around and find out. Well, I'm pretty sure she lost her job. Pretty sure.
Do you support his death?
Bro, if you hate Kirk, don't be a fucking dumbass. Don't be a dumbass and lose your job. Honestly, I do hope you go out there and be a dumbass and lose your job. But let's be smart here. You really think celebrating a man's death is not going to get you no type of backlash? You really think the company that you work for would champion that type of stuff? Like, bro, who do you work for? Al Qaeda?
I do. You support his death?
Charlie Kirk.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed?
Yes, I do.
On the day he died, you're here at a vigil for Charlie Kirk and you support his death.
Do you support a Nazi?
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi. You support his shooter?
Yep, sure do. Free him.
You support Charlie Kirk's shooter?
Sure do. He does all a favor.
Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk?
I would have killed him myself.
And you know what's so crazy? Guys like him ain't even heard not one, probably not even like 15 minutes of what Charlie Kirk ever had to say. Not even 15 minutes. They took the 30-second clip. They say he's a fascist. He deserved to die just off of the 30 seconds of, well, rhetoric that they heard him say. It's like, it's sad. It is really sad because I know a guy like him, if he actually sat down and listened to an hour and 30 of Charlie Kirk, he'd be like, oh, all right, he wasn't that bad. Just like me. When I got done listening to only like 30-minute, 1-minute clips of Donald Trump, sometimes even 20 seconds, and it'd give you the most crazy perspective of this man. Once I sat down and listened to a whole damn speech, I'm like, oh shit, all right, he's actually not that crazy. I don't agree with everything the man's saying, but he's saying some real stuff. This could be stuff that could actually work for the American people. And it kind of pissed me off that the left was hiding this, and not only hiding, but they were lying, outright lying about this man. And what do you think lying is going to do? Once we figure out that you guys are lying, what do you think that's going to do? That's going to get us to go to the other side.
Sure do. He does all a favor.
Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk?
I would have killed him myself.
Oh, Lord.
We need to politically destroy that culture. That whole movement should be crushed the way Charlie would want it to be on election day, in the marketplace, in the media, at universities, wherever it shows its ugly face. This anti-fascist political strain must be defeated. The militaristic mindset eradicated, and anyone profiting off of any of that in the public square should be expelled from polite society. You cannot accuse someone of hate speech to justify murder. Hate speech is just speech that liberals disagree with. America should be like the Five and agree to disagree. Violent attacks on free speech are attacks on the founding of America. And this vile movement is treasonous. Celebrating political assassinations should get you ostracized. Dowd was fired from MSNBC for saying Charlie deserved to die. And so were dozens of Americans just in the last 48 hours who worked at schools and in government, even in the NFL. This isn't cancel culture. This is society healing and getting rid of a cancer. And we love every American and forgive people who've lost their way. But we're not going to give them any quarter, not an inch. Charlie died for the First Amendment. He died on the battlefield of ideas, just like the colonists in the Revolutionary War. And if we don't defend free speech, America's defenseless and dies. We can win this battle without shedding any more blood. A great example of how to handle this, look at Utah.
I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last two nights. There was no...
All right, guys, it hasn't been 100% confirmed, though, that Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, had a boyfriend who identified as transgender. This man is cooperating with the FBI and has overturned all electronics and messages. I am hearing there is much more to come. So, so shout out to the reporters, but yeah. So it has been confirmed that Tyler Robinson was gay, and he had a transgender boyfriend who was pretty much transgender woman and who is now cooperating with the FBI. And this is the only reason that they noticed, because that this transgender woman, who is a guy with a wig on, is cooperating with the FBI. Or maybe not a guy with a wig, because I'm looking at the pictures of him and he just looks like a guy with long hair.
Rioting. There's no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There's no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this.
Could you imagine if a MAGA sniper shot Biden in the head?
Bro.
Or shot a congressman at a baseball game? Or
bro, I'll tell you to throw that man under the jail. Strip him of his Trump hat and throw that man under the jail. He ain't America first. He ain't what we stand on. Throw him under the jail. But for some reason, we can say that. But if the left, on the left is, oh man, give that man a crown. Give that man a key to the city. He took out our least favorite guy. He took out our biggest threats. It's like, that's y'all problem. Like, y'all don't condemn y'all crazies.
Assaulted.
Honestly, not only y'all don't condemn him, y'all try to push him on us. Oh, he's a Republican. Oh, he's a Trump supporter. Wasn't Republican, wasn't a Trump supporter. And yeah, he wasn't a groiper. And I'm going to tell you why he wasn't a groiper, because you guys, like I say, don't know what the groipers stand on. And it's about being white Christian nationalists. So Charlie Kirk was probably one of the biggest white Christian nationalists, just wasn't a full-on groiper, because, you know, the groipers are somewhat or honestly, they are kind of racist. They are racist. They are racist. Let's be quite honest. The groipers are racist. Charlie Kirk wasn't a racist, but he was a white Christian nationalist. And that's what the groipers stood on. They actually respected Charlie Kirk. They just didn't like his stances on Israel. So anybody who's saying they're a groiper, you don't know what you're talking about, because you don't know the stances that the groipers have.
The famous liberal media personality. There'd be martial law. We'd have our rights stripped, our guns seized. Cities would burn, and America First would be behind bars. But you don't respond to an attack on freedom by taking freedom away. All of us should speak our minds louder, without fear.
What do you say to people who are saying they see the assassination attempts in your life? They see the Minnesota lawmakers. They see what happened. They see what happened to Charlie.
I say you have to go forward. You just have to go forward.
Conservatives can't be afraid to go on a college campus and exercise their First Amendment right. They just can't. We can't be afraid to say men and women are different, that we believe in sovereign borders, that fighting racist and fighting crime isn't racist. And we have to go where Charlie went, everywhere, and talk to everyone, no matter where they're from and what they look like and what they believe.
I wish the left would do something like that, but they're too much of cowards to do so. Like I said, where's your example of Charlie Kirk? Where's your example? Who's actually going out there to conservative campuses and debating us? Who's doing that? Oh, because y'all too afraid to. And let's be real, y'all don't debate. Y'all get violent. Y'all start yelling. Y'all start getting disrespectful. And now y'all started shooting. Well, honestly, I've been started shooting. But hey, things escalate, I guess.
To force
next thing you know, y'all gonna start bombing
them to listen to us.
God forbid.
And we have to confront them with facts and logic and science and reason, and do it in a way that's not mean-spirited. Remember how Charlie rolled? He sat back in his chair and he smiled and he listened and debated like a real American. And he did it in person, surrounded by flesh and bone, not staring down the rabbit hole of the internet alone. That's where hatred brews.
Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. If this is a turning point for us, we get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please follow what Charlie taught me.
This country needs a spiritual awakening. We need to go outside, hug each other, touch each other, talk to one another, and find our faith like Charlie did. Get married, have families, and live honest and decent lives with purpose. The spiritual reawakening will be a turning point.
And that's tough, man. The man brought the facts. The problem is, y'all didn't like the facts that he were bringing, and it made certain communities look bad instead of hiding behind their victim narrative. Black community. So yeah, and here's the thing. I know there's guys in the my community that are trying to say, oh, why should we care that Charlie Kirk died? I mean, bro, you don't have to care. Just shut the fuck up. Like, y'all make yourself look like dumbasses just even talking like that. Why should we care about this white guy's death? Shut the fuck up then. Then why are you even talking about it? Because obviously y'all care. Y'all care enough about what the man was saying. He had y'all only putting y'all feelings. He took away y'all victimhood narrative instead of, and let's be real, it's kind of cowardice that y'all are all like, oh, well, we're not going to wish death on him. We're just going to ask you guys, why should we care? Okay, well, just shut the fuck up.
So Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, reportedly lived with a transgender partner in Utah, according to FBI officials.
And this is the same partner that reportedly came forward with messages from the suspect discussing the killing, including the rifle, engraved bullets, and a change of clothes.
Retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent James Gagliano joining us now. You know, we've had this conversation, my friend, about the nexus of information as we continue to unpack this investigation. If you wouldn't mind, Is it relevant at all as a data point? Who this person, this shooter was involved with? Does that matter at all as we look at the investigation in terms of the community? Lawrence, and I think even Rachel mentioned earlier, Discord communities. How do you unpack that when people say, oh, well, it shouldn't matter?
Investigations are layered. And really, when you go to look at this now, we're seeing this new ideation, which is assassination culture.
Yeah.
What does that consist of?
Yeah.
Starts out with a grievance. These are all grievance collectors, whether it's a mass shooter, a terrorist, or a political assassin. You add into that an ideology. My ideology is superior to yours. You're an existential threat. You're going to stop the next election. You're against my family unit. And last, moral absolutism. You believe that you are superior. Your thinking is superior. And I have the right to take your life because I disagree with you.
I mean, bro, there's people right now pretty much saying that, oh, well, why didn't you kill Charlie Kirk's wife as well so those kids could get properly raised? I was like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Excuse my language, but when there's such hideous language like that, I really got to ask you, what the hell is wrong with you? Y'all they literally are out here saying that, oh, well, I hope the wife dies too so their kids can get properly raised. There's something sick with inside. I'm like, bro, y'all need an exorcist, bro. Demons, bro. Demons.
So in this country, we have a history, sadly, of political assassinations.
Right. Yep.
And, let's take JFK, for example. People had a lot of ideas and theories about what would have what happened. And was that killer or shooter, he was obviously a disturbed person, but who was actually behind animating and using that disturbed person to actually, kill our president? So do we know anything about that? And do you feel like our government can be trusted to dig that deep?
We're certainly not immune to political violence. I mean, in our 250-year history, 4 sitting presidents have been assassinated. We're conditioned, sadly, Rachel, that's normal. Whether it's Gabby Giffords or Justice Kavanaugh, we think that that's almost our norm. Charlie was an interlocutor. He was somebody that just went to college campuses and debated. Now, in looking at this assassin and what he did, it was just a cacophony of.
And I want to show y'all a quick clip because, I remember I was playing this clip during the beginning of the election to prove that, the rhetoric of the left is getting out of hand. And I was a bit concerned about it even during the election. I was like, you guys listen to these political pundits, you guys listen to these movie stars, and they all try to get you to have this aggression towards Trump. And people didn't believe me. I'm like, bro, when I say that the left preaches violence, and they were doing this before the election, look at this.
To blame for leftist violence, not these lefties losing it.
He insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
President Donald
Trump. Telling fellow Americans that they're not welcome in their own damn state, city, country. I mean, and y'all are not fascists or not authoritarian. I mean, like I said, it's like the left. This is the meanest type of projection right now because everything you say that we are, you guys are. Everything, you try to call us fascists, you're the fascists. You try to call us authoritarian, you're the authoritarians. You try to call us killers. Well, look who's the killer now. Tough, ain't it? Tough. But all right, guys, we're going to get back into Charlie Kirk later on in the stream. I got a really good video on debunking all the lies about him. But let's go ahead and get on to what's circling around in the news. All right, man, let's get over to this guy, Rubio.
You guys see that plane flying around? Not crazy. What's up?
What are you reading for today?
Come on, man. Go Gators. Big game at LSU. We'll see what happens.
What is the message to the Prime Minister on this?
Well, look, the U.S.-Israeli relationship is very strong. It continues to be strong. The president wants this conflict to end. He wants all the hostages out, all 48 of them, living and deceased. Obviously, we're concerned that events last week, he didn't like the way it went down. He's expressed that publicly. There's concern that perhaps that could, we'll talk about, what impact it's going to have on efforts to get all the hostages back, get rid of Hamas. And this
I mean, it's kind of crazy how we're talking about getting hostages back in the country that's helping us get the hostages back. We let Israel bomb them. It's crazy.
War. That's the president's priority.
What leverage can the U.S. bring to bear on that?
Well, I don't know about leverage. Look, I mean, our relationship with Israel is very strong. Everybody knows that. I wouldn't call it leverage. I do think we have influence. I think because we've worked on so many things together. So we'll be there to express that and also to express the president's views, which is that he wants Hamas defeated. He wants the war to end. He wants all 48 hostages home, including those that are deceased. And he wants it all at once. Like he wants all the hostages now, not 5 and 10 and piecemeal. And we'll have to discuss about how the events last week had an impact on the ability to achieve that in short order.
The Taliban just said that they're...
Go ahead. The
Taliban is putting out a word that the U.S. is agreeing to a prisoner swap.
Well, I don't know. Look, our special envoy for people that unlawfully detained has been having conversations for a while. I think he went there to explore what's possible. Obviously, it'll be the president's decision in terms of any trades or any exchanges. But we most certainly want any Americans or anyone who's being unlawfully detained to be released. And so he went there to explore what that would look like.
Are you fully supportive of an offensive into Gaza City? What are you going to talk to the Israelis about on that regard?
Yeah, I don't know if we should get into that. I mean, I'm not going to get into that in the media other than to say the president wants this to be finished with. And finished with meaning 48 hostages released all at once. Hamas no longer a threat. So we can move on to the next phase, which is how do you rebuild Gaza? How do you provide security? How do you make sure Hamas or anything like it never comes back again? That's the president's priority. That's always been his priority. And that's what we're going to try to move forward on.
Yeah, I understand about focusing on Hamas. I get that. But like bombing Qatar is crazy. That's the problem. It's like, yo, y'all kind of let Israel do whatever they want in the Middle East. And it's getting a bit concerning. Like I said, we all get going after Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, sure. But Qatar is one of our allies. Like, what are y'all doing? And why would y'all even let Israel commit that type of attack on the capital? Like, what are y'all doing? But all right, guys, let's get over to the next video here. Shout out to Sky News.
So, James and Rita, this is extraordinary. We now hear that the killer, the shooter, the alleged shooter, was in a relationship. His lover was a transgender individual transitioning from male to female. That's the latest news. And this was the same individual that texts were sent to his so-called roommate regarding the rifle and casings. Rita Panahi.
Yes, Tyler Robinson's partner is cooperating with the FBI. He's
transgender partner.
Helpful is what's been reported. And yeah, he is.
So when next time they try to lie to you and say that, oh, he's on the left. I mean, my bad. Next time, well, he is on the left. But next time they try to lie to you and say, oh, he's on the right. He's a groiper. I mean, what guy on the right has a transgender boyfriend? I mean, what type of groiper who's a pro-Christian, white nationalist radical would have a transgender boyfriend? Like, y'all hear yourselves. And this transgender boyfriend has been confirmed and is working with the FBI. So there's no denying this at this point.
Trans is just another development. It adds an extra layer to what could have motivated this guy. But this guy, if he is the culprit, and authorities are very confident they have their man, he's told us why he's done this. There's a lot of conjecture that the left is bending over backwards, trying to cast some doubt about whether this was a politically motivated assassination, when there is zero doubt, because the killer told us why he did it. He hasn't been shy about saying why he did it. Sure. And if we don't accept reality, if we don't face up to the truth, we're not going to get past this point. And worse than trying to cast doubt about what motivated this killing are those dishonest actors. Sometimes they're just dishonest, sometimes they're stupid. I really don't care which one's which, but they lie. They have fabricated pictures of the suspect in a Trump shirt. They've tried to cast him as some sort of MAGA individual, Republican, just because his family happened to be church-going religious conservatives.
Oh yeah, they photoshopped the guy. They photoshopped Tyler Robinson in a Trump shirt, and if you look up the actual picture, he wasn't in no Trump shirt. He was actually in like a light red shirt or like a reddish purple shirt. So yeah, it's like the left is continuously trying to spin this guy off as a Trump supporter when he's never been one in his life.
This guy is the black sheep of the family. The family have said, he's been off the left, and I think it just shows, James, that just growing up in a conservative religious family doesn't necessarily immunize you or protect you from this poisonous doctrine.
And I mean, look, Rita, everybody out there, everybody on the stage, we know families are complicated. You have different people come from the same parents, the same environment, and just different things sort of wind up happening to them over the course of life. And that is just life. But the gaslighting, the unbelievable gaslighting that we have had, and I see this coming from all quarters of the left. It's not just the ones who are celebrating gleefully his death. And I'm going to be talking a bit later in the program about people who've been losing their jobs as a result of this, and why that's actually not a bad thing. But this idea that, and you see these posts, I see them all the time. He was a conservative. He was brought up a Mormon. He grew up in Utah. His parents were cops. This, that, the other thing. To suggest that, every single one of these things says, except that, even The Guardian. So when you read it in The Guardian, and they're telling the truth about it, this is the truth. They said, they talked to people who were friends of the family. They said he was incredibly radicalized.
I mean, The Guardian had an interview with one of his friends that did want to remain anonymous. In The Guardian, the friend said that, he was pretty radicalized. He was left basically on everything. I know, right? The Guardian. So even when the left-leaning Guardian got to tell us that, I'm not gonna lie, guys, he was a lefty with a transgender partner. But he's a Republican Trump supporter. He's a graper. It's like, lie again.
Said that a few years ago he really started to, and I think we need to talk about universities and just what's happening on our university campuses right now, that people get so radicalized on them. But that he talked about Charlie Kirk, he talked about the right, he talked about fascism, he talked about trans stuff. Now we know why there's Nagel on the transgender side there, because of course if he's had this relationship. But it is anything, they will do anything they can to prevent themselves owning the fact. And I'll tell you, we got to be careful, because I'm not somebody who subscribes to the words equals violence thing. That's the left thing. But these are the same people who have been pumping everybody through this message that Donald Trump is a fascist. People like Charlie Kirk are fascists. They're an imminent threat to democracy, the democratic way of life, the American republic, freedom, liberty, all of these things.
Well, when you say...
And when they do that, that creates the existential threat, that creates a circumstance where this happens.
I don't think we have to be shy about saying that at all. There's clear incitement for this crime. There's clear incitement for the assassination attempt against Donald Trump. There's clear incitement when you say words of violence. We
heard it from Fox News. We heard it from Sky News. The Guardian even said it. I mean, I just wonder how long the lefts are going to keep on perpetuating a lie, so they can protect their feelings. That's the only thing they're doing, guys. They're trying to protect their feelings because they don't want to be seen as a group that promotes violence, when that's what they've been blaming us. That's what they've been blaming MAGA for the whole time, but they're the ones doing it. That's why they're trying to pass this guy off, because they already had to take a hit with the trans shooter in Minneapolis. They already took a hit with that, and now they're taking another hit with this guy. It's not getting good for these guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. The left, looking a bit too radicalized. And the world is starting to notice.
As Democrats deal with political violence here at home, the world is right now testing Donald Trump. The first international incident, Israel has infuriated a region by striking Hamas targets inside of Qatar, the site of peace talks. Now, the president is distancing himself and the United States from that strike, and the White House is said to be...
And shout out to my man Monty for the baller alert. And thoughtful words as well. I hope heaven has a window so Charlie may see us carry on his legacy. I am Charlie Kirk. Fly high, brother.